Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing, spectacular Propagandacast. I'm your host and Pearl Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, hero's like defender of the fatherland. Off here to a glorious 1v1 on Mill Road in the north of this MicMillan, fighting for the Oberkommando West of Germany, Deutschland, here with the 5th Panzer Division with Special Operations, Elite Armor, and Overwatch with Triple Infantry. In the south it is Tonkatsu fighting for the Soviet Union, Communist Stalin. Taking on the role here of the 10th Mechanized Corps with Tank Hunter Tactics, Armored Assault, and Guard Motor with Triple Infantry as well there. Worth noting, an infantry production for faster conscript training there under Tonkatsu's command. Also, big thanks to Rachel for pledging on Patreon and supporting me with her hard-earned money and joining the heroic ranks of the many other Patreon supporters I have. Big thanks to her and everyone else who are supporting me. You too can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon yourself, or you can always just donate by PayPal. Links in the description. And finally, you can always just comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. Also, apparently Rachel wanted me to mention a map she's making for the League, Master League map contest. Apparently, it's called Canal Park or Canal Run. So apparently, give that a go. Just figured I'd mention that since you did ask about that. Anyway, skirmishing in the 70s, the focus on the conscript. In the south, troops moving forward to the Sturmpioneer. Up north here, we got focus advancing there for MicMillan. 3rd conscript there for Tonkatsu. Bit of skirmishing so far there, nothing major. Spreading out aggressively here for Deutschland and for the Soviet Union. Sandbags in the west here, lots of sandbags there. Got the focus falling back from the centre here. 3rd squad on the way there. Steady advance here, sandbags down by the western fuel point. So far, that's not much. Looks like he's switching southwards. Does mean he's actually leaving the carve point open here, so he must be hoping that Tonkatsu does not go for the carve point, or in this case, laying down sandbags in a fairly interesting spot. Skirmishing south here between the focus and the conscripts, doing planting support here, laying down some barbed wire. No switching over to the sandbags there. Perhaps a misclick, perhaps a aborted thought there by Tonkatsu. Who knows what's going on with that one? Certainly novel. White trot on the way there for MicMillan, so fairly aggressive tech here from MicMillan and the Germans. Not too often you see that fast. If you see at least more Volksgrenadiers, could indicate he's, well, obviously planning something besides the Volksgrenadiers, or what of course would be a likely candidate with the Jaegers. Well, I mean, it's obviously the most common Oberkommando doctrine at the moment, though less common against, say, something like the Soviets or the Americans, since most people use it against the Brits. But, you know, still, it does see grand total of just a lot of usage. So, you know, it's not even the biggest surprise was the Soviets. Stupunier catching the games by the south. Scrum to continue here, not looking great there due to the conscript being a fairly good heavy position. There was a bit difficult to get forces all into heavy cover here, but there goes squad flanking, turning the tables here on Tonkatsu. The South Engineers rallied, Sturmpioneering forwards. We've got triple contact Engineers for Tonkatsu. We shall see, of course, what ends up with. Flank pushing away there for Tonkatsu. Thumbs up, forces being focused down, very good. Nice use of the flanking. In fact, now that they're switching to that one, he could theoretically like move up here and pop an incendiary grenade from the other angle. Really good push of MicMillan. Completely confounds Tonkatsu. Chance of getting wiped here is actually not impossible. Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Great start here from MicMillan. Landing a wipe from Tonkatsu is definitely going to hurt him. Plus, hitting the carpet, disrupting the fuel flow as well. Beautiful push here by MicMillan. Beautiful. Thumbs up there. Almost a work of art. Forcing Tonkatsu to have to go for more troops now. Slowing down anything else that might have planned. They do have the medics. But certainly take this. Probably brought down a bit. Also just gives MicMillan more time to pressure now on the field, just push ahead there using superior numbers. So really good wipe there, really just highlighting the power of a good flank using for some stuff like Sturmpioneer. Part 1, the sandbags, German sandbags being laid down. My god, look at those sandbags, Jürgen. Yeah, so sloppy. Can we even call them sandbags? I mean, most of it's just dirt. Wait, is that just... Are they using pillowcases filled with... I don't know. What is it? I don't even think that's sand. Anyways, Belgium headquarters, their mechanized upgrade for MicMillan. Probably a flak half attack, which are going to be effective as all these Soviet infantrymen. Engineers controlling towards the center. Armored assault key chosen for MicMillan with the T-3045 medium tank. Radio intercept. The prepared training. The IS-2 Sturmwick attacks. And the IS-2 heavy tank. Engineers advancing. Also, a heads up, there's a big sale going on with the company. In fact, they're also offering companies to the base package plus the Ardennes Assault DLC for free. Plus a lot of commanders and whatnot are on sale. So, you know, spread the word, grab a copy. Troops getting ready here. We got flak half attack on the way from MicMillan. Up north there. Conscript taking from the south there. So we'll have to see what happens next. But there we go. Good push here. Definitely catches MicMillan a bit flat-footed here and punishes him for, like, you know, overextending into the west without having anything here. He's reinforcing healing though. And of course with the flak half attack he might be able to turn us around that set if Cheese10 cuts and lines in, sandbags up. It could make a counter attack harder here for MicMillan though. Interesting enough. Oh, there we go. He's actually doing it just to say he wasn't, but there we go. Also note by placing it here it makes it harder to the light cover. This makes it harder for MicMillan to use the sandbags himself against Cheese10 Katsu. North here follows with the conscripts. Blind Hunt Guard out's going to necessarily fix. Well, the assault rifles probably also helping a bunch there, to be honest. Sandbags done, flak half tag out, Sturm Pioneer getting ready, push back there as well. So got a really good pin here by Cheese10 Katsu, definitely makes up for the earlier wipe, I think. Good punish there by Cheese10 Katsu. Flak half tag moving forward, troops reinforcing, well, reinforcing, not healing yet. Machine away, they're very good. But there you go, using the train to then ambush the flak half, police threaten to ambush it, but instead gets a face full of flak. Alright, comrades, when they steep around the corner, we charge at them. Those fascists would, oh shit. Get out of here! MG-35 almost done. Constant press behind heavy cover. The flak half attack does have a lot of suppression, so it can do that, you know, with a few well-placed shots. Forcing them away there. Forcing several casualties there for Cheese10 Katsu, but even then damage has been done as well to MicMillan economically, so again, good push there. No check from him. No tech, that is, not check, but no tech. Going for the fuel point there, by the way, knowing course getting both fuel points is great for Cheese10 Katsu to make off his own cut off there, bit there, and of course just makes it harder for MicMillan to get the fuel flow going optimally again. So definitely a nice damaging push there by Cheese10 Katsu against MicMillan. Very nice, solidly executed. So potent company up here for Cheese10 Katsu and the Red Army. Needs hard work. Digging away there, moving up with the machine gun and the Sturm Pioneer minesweepers up. Very good there. Always when you're up against a Soviet player, expect them to lay down mines. I particularly haven't seen like any weapon drops, like, you know, from airborne troops, because at that point, there's a very good chance they're using the munitions on mines. So always, like, you know, as an active player, if you're up against Soviets, expect mines. It is super important, can always cause you quite a bit of grief and casualties, but also just lost momentum, which is always really important. Comes to the quality by the flak half attack, routed, focusing forwards. There we go, medics ready here for MicMillan. We're still yet to go for Dorton. Perhaps not Overwatch after all. Also at this point he could have gone for the Jaegers with some G for the freeze, put some pressure on his opponent easily. Perhaps it's elite armored or even special operations, infiltration attacks with the way to maybe have to deal with some of the more aggressive attacks. There you go, an Ura forward, straight to the flak half attack and don't worry, comrades, this time around you will not be a flak half attack. Oh, suka boyat! And you know the rest. Really, that squad is having no luck running around corners. Fortunately, West was there, teasing away for Cheese10 Katsu. That's obviously going to be a huge problem for MicMillan, who doesn't have any anti-tank weapons. He's going for the Kedmev though, so he's at least expecting it somewhat. But yeah, T-70 is always quite dangerous, and with the nerf, the T-70 is still very powerful. It's just less very powerful. But it's still very powerful. But Kedmev halfway done there. I mean, this effect is still the sort of game that can completely swing a game around on its own. And on the south here, point being seized, got the southern victory point. Flak coming up here under MicMillan's command, getting engineers. 3 kills so far. T7 right and ready here for Cheese10 Katsu and the 10th Mechanized Corps. T7 out, grab the southern point here, going once more for the car point. No mines here for Cheese10 Katsu, which is worth noting. Despite, you know, how most Soviet players, he's actually not been laying down any mines at all so far. I mean, it's like flare mines for the conscripts, which of course, you know, quite easy and cheap to play down there. So it's a bit interesting there. Unfortunately, the Panther from the T-70, definitely a bit mistaken by Cheese10 Katsu. Perhaps he just decided it was worth it just to threaten the Falcons with more damage. It's a bit hard to say here what Cheese10 Katsu was thinking in that one. A bit hard to say. I mean, sometimes you do, you know, expose yourself to the Panther files because, again, you do get more accuracy and DPS up close, and you just think, you know what? I don't care what kind of DPS because you're actually hitting stuff. So technically it goes up with DPS, but you get the idea. Anyways, point is, sometimes you're willing to take the risk depending on way out because you're less exposed, like, you know, follow up with attacks. It's still a bit risky there until he can get the engine fixed up. The T-7 start doing a lot. Field gun here for Cheese10 Katsu to have to deal with a flak half track. Very good. Truck on the way there. Bart way on the sandbags. Very good as well. Troop reinforcing healing. That will be the Schwerer Panzer quarters most likely. Could go for some early orbits done, in which case, again, special operations with some infant assault rifles could be quite potent here as the conscripts, in particular the sandbags, since the assault rifles do have a bonus against units in heavy cover, meaning if heavy cover, for example, is less effective against them. So, Seeing how Surds do like to lay down a lot of sandbags currently, and which is actually a bit of an issue at higher levels of playing. There's some complaining there from what I hear. You know, having those can sort of say slightly negate that. That said, Tonkatsu's not been laying down a ton, but he's nonetheless been laying down a steady amount of them. So it could be a consideration if MicMillan. There you go. Chuck's gonna be caught here by the T70. Nice raid here, playing aggressively, not reckless as though, and of course, MicMillan at this stage may of course want to consider some minds of his own, honestly. But there you go. T70 Pantherfast again, like heading off on the other side. May want to move in the flak half track to assist it though, to keep infantry away from it. But there you go, feeling supporting, making it hard for him to move in the flak half to do exactly that. Keeping up with the attack here, skirmishing in between the grain silo and the shed. And far on the west here, we got Pioneer popping up a grenade at the conscripts, but they get a Molotov in return. A lot of action there. Schwer Punch Core still going out, and you're fiddling with the conscript. But that said, the Schwer Punch Core could get destroyed if he's not careful, since it is more likely susceptible to damage while being built. So this is getting a bit dicey here for MicMillan, but of course can't finish. It's going to be huge. Flak half-tech flanking. He's almost got it, but it's at a high risk getting destroyed, which could be a huge problem for MicMillan. The kid arriving. I think you should just cancel that as soon as you saw like the T7 moving up, leaving the field gun. Yeah, that's going to be go down there. It's a huge build to MicMillan. That was definitely a very bad call there. Lost a lot of resources to that, and of course further took down his tech. This is big for Tonkatsu. Very big. Definitely a bad call of MicMillan. Also highlights the risks involved with this. So definitely should have just cancelled, in which case you could at least refund it, if not most of all of the resources, at least most of them, and could just like go on for another truck and then build it up again in a more safe spot. So definitely a very bad call to MicMillan, very bad, and this would definitely give Tonkatsu a lot of room here to decide what he wants to do versus MicMillan. Second KNF out, very sensible there. Grabbing some fuel point though. That said, MicMillan still has a victory point lead. He's got almost all three under his control, but definitely dangerous. So, doctrine for MicMillan and the Germans. Academy of number 2 ready here for MicMillan and the German army. Continuing forwards, flak happening as well there. 4 kills, veterans 1. Conscript rushing straight at it, and then right away again. Union shot being routed here by the flak half track.
300 points stand between us and defeat.
Almost got it, but not quite. Back hitch reinforcing healing from MicMillan. He's being fixed up. Field gun here, maximum in the Sturmpioneer. 4 kills veteran on the flak half track. We got 6 close veteran on the T70. Folks, goes the conscript. Might want to pop an incendiary grenade. Force them out of cover, very good. Grabbing the northern victory point, going for the southern victory point. At the same time, machine opening up there. Got 5 kills on that one. In fact, that one's doing more killing than the NU of the flak half tech, which is a bit awkward there for MicMillan. So he highlights some struggles to get the flak half tech really going here for him. There we go. Conscripts pinned down, routed, and there you go. Film of Barding looking to, well, just remove stuff. Oh, he's bombarding to push out the German sector. I was like, is he hitting that when he's trying to hit that? Sometimes it's difficult to determine. There you go, push forward to the east, flak half coming up. Truck number 2 on from the Merlin's going to give another go there at it. Several hits in the T70, gaining victories from the process. Fortunately, came to reposition, and of course then pushing the T70 to exploit that. Really good sneaky maneuvering here by Tonkatsu, putting pressure on MicMillan. Field gun gets a great hit from the flak half track, 6 kills, close to victory 2 now. Maximum grand northern victory point, central enemy grabbed here by Tonkatsu's forces as well. Need to fix up that flak half track swiftly. And of course, you should probably salvage the destroyed Schwer Punch Core for a bit of extra fuel. That'd be a very sensible idea. Of course, we could end up just wrecking it now with the truck, which would be, well, a slight waste of fuel. Pushing for the center with the Fuchskanons and the Sturmgewehrs. Yeah, sending up another Schwer Punch Core. This time they're probably a bit more cautious about it. See some nice forwards. Could get Panzerfausted here, but looks like Lady Fortune slightly favours him here and he avoids that, but could get a weapon conscript. Nope, backs off due to the T70. Possibly the maximum as well there actually. And South Machine Team to defend. Feel like we'd be slightly more active with that MD34. Not too much either. One can of course get reckless. Volksman to north, catching the maximum off guard, but not off guard enough, and the maximum deals with that. We need to get up on him, gun it off. Slowly approaching the treadmill mark, and MicMillan has still yet to choose a doctrine. It's starting to get slightly concerning here, I would say. Of course, great if you choose Tonkatsu. Back here, nothing further going. We got another max on the way there. Bring in more heavy firepower versus MicMillan's infantry. Obviously, got an issue. Plenty of folks hanging to the conscripts. Machine in the south, and we got all of a sudden. Very good. So again, part of me would really recommend special operations just for assault rifles. Would be great with the support weapons. The infantry, and of course, as mentioned, help deal with some of the sandbags here that Chief Tonkatsu has been chucking down. Though he doesn't seem to be throwing down a lot more now, so maybe not as much. Chiefs from Northfoot, Kevin nearby. Flak half take Wolfman to assist. Good hit there. Flak half take Guineas. We're very close to 52 there. T70 is halfway to the ace level meanwhile. Popping smoke just in case. Grab the center. Heavy firing for the victory points, and there you go. Mortar team up for Chief Tonkatsu. He's definitely got a strong, support weapon ensemble there with 2 machine guns and a tank gun and a mortar. Really nice spread of the support weapons. Thumbs up to Chief Tonkatsu. Maximum caught in a bad spot. He's actually rushed the field gun right now with the full Grenadiers. In fact, moving another squad to flank from the other side, I think would be great here. If we can get rid of that field gun crew, that'd be huge here for MicMillan. There goes second squad around a bit belated here though. Almost got the field and crew this. Ooh, could be huge. We then grab it or salvage it. Retreat stuff. Needs to follow up the Kedden now first. He's probably going to just destroy it. Which obviously makes a ton of sense. There we go. We've got some good damage on the mortar crew. Definitely with a stinging blow here to Chief Tonkatsu. Got the other side ready with an MG34. No infrared Sturmgewehr, so obviously no special operations. Which does beg the question, what is MicMillan's planning versus Chief Tonkatsu? Who is finally teched up their mechanized armor company. He's going to get decent side force back machine gun, 11 kills, 8 on the flak half track. Got the ultimate swarm team forced to retreat. Still worth noting, no mines here from Chief Tonkatsu, and certainly none from MicMillan either. Both sides I think would benefit, from at least a few mines. In the case of MicMillan, considering a light infantry gun at this stage might actually be a good idea as well, partly just to help counter the opponent's mortar, but artillery support is always a nice thing to have for more tactical flexibility. Chief Tonkatsu replacing the lost field gun. Got the southern point, there we got the full Grenadiers advancing. Quick find Grenada to flash them out of gnome. There you go, Cheeseman arriving. Going to tank weapons nearby to push it back further. We're just going to throw the Cheeseman will knock it out, I suppose is a better way to put it. Troops heading out there from the base of MicMillan. Chief Tonkatsu's got the field gun out. Could soon go for T-35, which could be a bit of a problem there for MicMillan. There's also the slightly crazy idea he might transfer for an IS-2. Not that I would recommend that, but he could do that. Kept moving in, folks, also some backing up. Far up north, you've got the stream team with the conscript close. We could see a wipe here, actually free gain. Yup, that's a wipe here. Nice kill there. Chief Tonkatsu bit extended again, losing another unit down. In fact, to 2 conscript squads now. This definitely gives MicMillan with 5 squads a significant infantry advantage. If you can leverage this, this could become a big problem for Chief Tonkatsu. If he can leverage that. And all players are equally good at leveraging such an advantage. Can, then it's great. All of a sudden, props get into heavy cover. Of course, he may be worried about mines. This could be a trap, by Chief Tonkatsu. We know it isn't, but it could, and this is probably what he's assuming, though. Could be wrong. Anyways, more control there for Chief Tonkatsu. Thumbs up, replacing the losses. But at this point, he could also go for the T-45, so I think the possibility is, in fact, stalling for the IS-2 now is slightly high here. Flak half attack pops smoke, disengages, and taking a hit here from the IS-3. Divisional field gun. Knocks out the flak half track. Kaput. Mortar firing away. Folks also something forward to catching the mortar in a bad spot. Max machine gun repositioning. Panther mode here for MicMillan. The Panzer Kampfwagen Fias from Jod. If had some veterans enough, he could have popped the blend curb here to assault the machine gun with under. See some flanking, though I kept turning around to do with that. Need some support from the north here. Black half track though, of course, being gone. Can't assist. We've got the Panhandle cut off there actually. But then McKenna taking heavy losses for McKenna for Max, but there we go, getting flanked himself. He's smashing 40. Bit of a mess here in the centre for MicMillan as Chief Tonkatsu is slugging away there at the German army. Sturmpioneer going in there. Ace, oh, not ace, but fetching feet. They get a nice actually bonus, making them definitely better here. Troops reinforcing healing. Panther for Molgi almost done the fight with MicMillan. There we go, Panther ready, adding the Pinamount machine as well. Very good. Still, no doctrine though for MicMillan. We are at the 20-minute mark to choose a doctrine, which is typically shows, say, the spot would say if you haven't chosen a doctrine there, you really need to reconsider what doctrines you'd like having in your selection, because, you know, if you can't make a decision, you're usually at a disadvantage, to be honest. Meanwhile, you know, Chief Tonkatsu almost from starting, you know, as making certainly some use of the different abilities here. It's very nice there. At least the radio intercept, but that's a passive. Could see some skirmish attacks, and of course like to see the eyes too. Following forward, backed up with the orbital down here. Panther 4 arriving here as well. It could be a problem for the T-70 if the Panther 4 could of course hit. Finally go for the conscript. Conscript routed. 25 range from the north. 455 to 145. I mean, MicMillan has a massive advantage over Chief Tonkatsu, and I'm still baffled as to why he hasn't chosen the doctrine. Multiple will add it. Firing off a flare here to put pressure on MicMillan from above, and of course look out for targets of opportunity. Very good there. Thumbs up to Chief Tonkatsu. Panther down north against the machine gun. Shot fired. We got air support in here from Chief Tonkatsu around the north. In fact, right in the midst of everything. Probably going to use the flame part to call in the air support. Disrupting here the entirety of MicMillan's northern force, forcing a full retreat here. Excellent. Should of course activate the Schwerpunkt quarters anti-aircraft mode. He probably won't. Oh, there we go. He actually pops it. He actually pops it. That said, sadly the aircraft actually so removed, it may not have a lot of time to actually shoot properly at it. But still, better than nothing there. Enforcing healing. Backing off, could of course transferring for the south instead. Aircraft shot down. Landing almost dead center here on the map. Max and fire the Volksgrenadiere. Nice coverage there. T-7 got a northern point. Thumbs up there to Chief Tonkatsu. 17 kills on his ace T-70. Finally got some artillery from MicMillan. The Latvian Fantastic should succeed. Still flying quite a bit of manpower. Could even consider like a second line infantry gun here versus Chief Tonkatsu. Another machine gun. Maybe more orbital gun, but that pushes infantry limits a bit much. Comes right in the south. Folks getting stamped here with the T-7. Got 18 kills on it. 19. Panther 4 being fixed up. Line for gun almost done. There we go, line for gun down there, going for a second one, so definitely coming to a lot of artillery here versus Chief Tonkatsu. More sandbags down from him. Just been caught here though. Again, we're getting a lot of these sandbags. Again, special operations, almost with infantry assault, I think again would be a nice way to help negate, at least in part, all of these sandbags. T-7 getting the MD-34. Panther heading south at sea for him. He's under a lot of pressure across most of the frontage now as Chief Tonkatsu is just ratcheting it up, and he's definitely stalling for the R2 now. He has to fuel, he just needs some manpower. Meanwhile, MicMillan, there's still not really like a clear strategy here going on from him. Besides, you know, getting a bunch of artillery, which again isn't bad, but I still would like to see a doctrine. Feelings they're firing away. Sturmpioneer there, very close to 4, 16 kills. Just reinforcing healing, second line for gun ready there as well for MicMillan. Priming with a solid amount of artillery. There you go, Panther 4 flanking the conscript still, rendering the point neutral. We got 449 versus 223 in the center. Infantry gun being assaulted here. Definitely exposed. We do have the Schwerpunkt providing some coverage, but he could still clear it out and then just destroy it with field guns. Kevin setting up there. Teasing once more just scoots away. Light gun firing down the Maxim. Panther 4, they're taking nasty hits, down to half health. Maxim getting hammered with the light infantry Geschütz. Getting another kill there. Needs to push back up north. We got now flank mines going down here from Cheese Tonkatsu. Very good. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Straight to another mine there. South side seeing some light maneuvering here, but nothing significant. Need to fix up the Panther 4. Could go for another one soon. Of course, with the IS-2, he may want a Jagdpanzer Panther. Field gun, they're being bombarded with the line for guns. And there we go. Cheese Tonkatsu and the 10th Mechanized Corps can more or less now call in the IS-2 heavy tank if he wants to, which I imagine he wants to because he hasn't gone for T-foot for the 5s by now. So there you go. IS-2 heavy tank out here for the Soviets, smashing through the tree lines, benches and fences. Got booby traps going down with the Sun Victory Point, very nice. Germans were big users of booby traps throughout the war. Portier though. Additionally, also not uncommon in films like to apply booby traps or anti-tampering devices to their mines. In some cases, they place in multiple on them, making them very difficult to disarm. In fact, in some cases, the Allies would just blow them up instead, because that was just easier than trying to actually disarm the mines. Extreme Ping under fire here. Look at them in the IS-2. But the terrain here is not great for like engaging the IS-2 safe, and I imagine Cheese Tonkatsu is aware of this. It's going to cost him safe firepower from MicMillan. And he goes for the Jagdpanzer 4. The Panzerjäger. Do that, we'll try and hunt down the IS-2 heavy tank and deal with that. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Decent penetration, good rate of fire. Good penetration, decent rate of fire. Got the grenade machine push back in the south. Troops hanging out there, reinforcing healing. Jagdpanzer halfway done here for MicMillan. Still no doctrine though. Still nothing. At this rate, he's going to end up like going for Overwatch doctrine just for the sector assault or something. That's how it ends up with like half the time. Panther engaging, getting a quick conscript kill there. 7 kills, close veterans on the south. The troops advancing here. Flying away, probably hoping to disarm many mines. There you go, Jagdpanzer up from MicMillan, the Panzerjäger. Put with a high velocity 75mm gun, same as the Panther. Got the ultimate forwards here. Firing down. The south enemy force against the advancing engineers conscripts. Seizing the centre for Deutschland. And then we got North Field gun bombarding. IS-2 striking at the Volksgrenadiers. Got the Jagdpanzer sitting out for MicMillan. Panther 4 there holding back. 8 kills, close veterans on the south, deep in the skirmishing. IS-2 just slaughtering away there at MicMillan's infantry, who continues to be almost like half an hour into the game, and MicMillan still has yet to go for doctrine. Jagdpanzer shot bounces. At this rate, Cheese Tonkatsu with them going for tank more of his own, probably T-5 then, if it does go for it. Maximum support in the country, but the south also got the IS-2 moving in. MicMillan is definitely struggling now. We got 411 versus 96 using the T-7 to grab points. Really good play there by Cheese Tonkatsu. Nice from the Jagdpanzer, but does need to mount for the field gun, so we can quickly punch through the Jagdpanzer's armor. Which did have 80mm of sloped frontal armor. On the other hand, the side armor was fairly weak. Field gun's flying back. Sandbags on the south to make the point more defensible. We got 397 versus 96. Yeah, it's definitely starting to look like he's just going to go for like Overwatch here by the end and have it like utilize one sector assault and hope that works out. Straight into the jaws of the IS-2 here with the Volksgrenadiers and the Obersoldaten. You could consider laying down the smoke from the line for guns around here and here to make it harder for Cheese Tonkatsu to cut the center victory point line to advance. You could also lay down around here. I mean, While he is definitely using, I think, the barrage builds and light infantry guns, he's not using them particularly a lot. But fish, we do actually get some smart now here from Cheese offering MicMillan. Thumbs up. That's an improvement. Throw down the south, not bad. Using both of them effectively down the smoke screen. Could have spread it out a bit more, I think. To say that's a fairly dense smoke screen, but you know, could have been a bit more, you know, spread out for a bit more efficient smoke screen. 100 gun on the conscripts. Got the southern victory point. Everyone's firing away there, and none of them are hitting at all. Far up north, it's heading out on a mission of its own to deal here with MicMillan's northern force there, his little vanguard. Comes from the fire from the line, 2 guns, planning for firing. We got the field gun firing back, shooting and whiffing. Unit advancing close to the ace level. Up north, it's getting panzer faster by the Volksgunners, and we got MicMillan, oh, the Chiefs and Cats filling with the Katyusha. MicMillan here could go for another Jagdpanzer or another Panzer IV, we shall see, but he really should go for a Doctrine though. He really should go for a Doctrine. Seeing the opposite into the smoke here to explode and pop a bomb grenade there on the Maxim. Nice shooting there, up front there. But the way he's using missions, then I guess it's not Overwatch if he's planning anything there. By the case, like in a half an hour into the game, you still haven't chosen a Doctrine, you really need to reconsider the Doctrine. Then you've selected, you still can't make up your mind like after half an hour. That would probably like, you know, be my advice there. Jagdpanzer flanking here, the IS-2. Shot being plus with the IS-2, Jagdpanzer hit, then we got the fields coming up to quickly knock out the Jagdpanzer if he's not careful. Shot bounced. Oh, he technically got to kill in the fielding crew because even like armor piercing shots and stuff like this has a tiny bit of AoE. So like theoretically, like if something's too close to the IS-2, they can be like killed by it. So little fun fact there. I mean, technically, people have actually been killed by standing close to the tank and then got hit by an armor piercing round. Like the hit was right next to where it happened. I read one account of a British tanker, like, you know, with the driver, I think it popped his head out. Then the shot landed right next to his head, and just the shockwave pretty much just turned his brain into mush. From the impact of this, so, you know, little, you know, not so fun fact about that sort of stuff. Pulsing getting the conscripts. Pulsing being absolutely mauled. Still no Doctrine for MicMillan. No additional armor either. Jagdpanzer coming up. He needs to be careful. He hasn't been fully repaired. Ah, there you go. Things running up. Katyusha will take some damage there. He's going to lose it, I think. Look, him cleared out there. Did get the T-70. Finally. Took him forever. Absolutely took him forever to get that done. Very closer than the sector assault here from Overwatch, which again it stands to look like it's going for. He got like him cleared up, going for the field gun aircraft shot down there. There we go, he cannot pop Overwatch to go for sector assault here, which I guess he's going to try to like use against the IS-2 maybe. But so far, nothing out of MicMillan. Need to fix up the Jagdpanzer, Schnell. IS-2 rushing forwards. There we go, we do get the Overwatch, and we do get that sector assault then. More like a fervent last attempt here against Chiefs and Cats and his IS-2 heavy tank. 11 kills, Red 71. Luftwaffe strikes, Cannon on the Foreground firing over the first one of the cannons on the IS-2. Silo collapses under the unrelenting pressure of the Luftwaffe. Meanwhile, Chiefs and Cats are pulling up with the T-35. Molts with 6 kills, very good. Flares off, picks up the Jagdpanzer. Aircraft shot down inside the base, taken out by the IS-2's pinlock machine gun. Fun fact, the Surge tanks pretty much only use pinlock machine guns on the heavy armor. It was only, I think, like by the T-55 and the T-62 that started using pinlock machine guns, like, you know, their medium armor, if you will, or, you know, main battle tanks. Fun fact. Looks like he took out another aircraft, actually. Down the southern point there. T-55 almost done here for Chiefs and Katsu. But maybe stuck a bit in limbo until he suffers enough losses to allow to run. Jagdpanzer forwards. Panzer there being pushed back. Line guns firing about 5. We got 4 kills there. Schwerer Panzer Corps being repaired. Definitely needs more armor. Not entirely sure why he's not going for. I mean, he's got plenty of fuels. Like, you technically can afford like a Panther right now, but as always, I typically don't think it's particularly great. But there you go. Hell of a bang grenade here. Really causing heavy loss amongst Tonkatsu's infantry. Blowing them to tiny bits and bullshit. Sturm Pioneer still has to buy this out except for a bit of extra fuel, but not that it matters at this point. He's got all the fuel he technically needs. He just doesn't have the manpower to do anything with it. Great hits on the Panther 4 here, almost taking out there immediately. Tonkatsu is on the offensive here. Look at him shoot bounces. Jagdpanzer hits the grain silo there instead. Panther 4 is knocked out. Field guns falling up. He's got smoke shield off here to further disrupt the offensive efforts here of Tonkatsu. But Jagdpanzer now getting completely swarmed. The Panther 4 is almost knocked out. Jagdpanzer kaput. Just couldn't do anything here in the end. Got completely swarmed here. And that MicMillan is unfortunately, I think, down in the water. All of his armor is gone. And Tonkatsu and the IS-2 are just pretty much just kicking in his teeth at this point. He can't really put up like any kind of effective resistance against the Soviets. But pretty much just demolishing him. Field guns advancing. IS-2 just tank through everything. 14 kills. Veteran 2. Schwer Punch being damaged. There you go. Actually did get the T-45, but with the IS-2 and these field guns kicking in the door here, I don't think that particularly matters. Got the fragmentation shell there firing off. Attempting kill victory on the IS-2. Till the fire there. I mean, at this point, MicMillan is pretty much dead in the water, I think. Line guns there, both abandoned. There's only the Ken effort, and with that, GG game over. A loss for MicMillan, a victory for Tonkatsu. Despite some early good moments for MicMillan, I think partly just again sloppy doctrinal usage, but also that Schwer Punch was the first one that got knocked out. Definitely set him back, and as the match advanced, I think he suffered more from tunnel vision. I didn't like utilize the initial all those good flanking efforts he made versus Tonkatsu, and I think if he'd done that, I think he'd be in a much better state here versus him. That said, the T-Sen of course was a big issue. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family, tell enemies. This is Imperial. Cheers. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.